Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 6 of Let's Do It in Style, a beginner's guide to become a master CSS ninja. In this episode, we are going to take a look at CSS selectors grouped as structural pseudo class selectors. So let's go over them one by one. Okay, so first one is nth-child pseudo selector. nth-child structural pseudo class selector will target child elements according to their position in their specified parent element. So in this example, we have got an unordered list of some items here. So parent here is basically the unordered list UL, and I am targeting its child here. Okay, so Lee colon nth child 2 means list item which is second child of its parent, which is unordered list UL, is targeted for styling here. Okay, so let's have a look in the browser and see which list item gets targeted for style, and you can see it here that the second list item is being targeted and is given a color of red. Okay, so now let's have a look at another example, and in this example we demonstrate how to add structural logic to alternate styles for the child element. So here I have got unordered list of items again, and in this case I am giving the styles like this: Lee colon nth child, and then inside of parentheses I am putting an argument called even, and then I'm giving a color of green to it. And another style that I'm putting is here Lee colon nth child odd, and to it I'm giving a color of orange. So what this essentially means that all the elements which will be on the even place, list items which are on the even places, will be green, and the others which are on the odd places will be orange. So let's have a look at that in browser, and you can see the styling effect in the browser here. Now let's move on to the another example. Now this example creates the same even odd logic, but instead of putting even and odd inside of the parenthesis here, we can write it in numerical format, format like this, like 5n plus 0. This basically means anything which is divisible by 5, those will have color green, and those that aren't divisible by 5 will have orange. So let's have a look at the browser, and you can see the resulting style here. We can get the same even odd logic here as well by putting the formula 2n plus 0 and 2n plus 1 here, and if you preview this in browser, we will get the same even odd logic for the styling tool. So let's now move on to the nth-last-child. Okay, this example demonstrates how we can use nth-last-child to target the element counting upward from the last element. Okay, in this case the structural selector that I am using is Lee colon nth-last-child, and inside of parentheses I have got 2. So in this particular instance I'll be counting from the last element here. From the last we will be targeting this element, second element from the last, and it will get color red. Preview it in browser and we can see the effect. Another structural pseudo class selector is nth-of-type. Okay, nth-of-type structural pseudo class selector is used to target the styles specified by child element according to their position in their specified parent element. This selector is similar to nth-child selector but differs by only counting specified element to make selections, and it does not count other element type in the parent. Let's have a look at this in browser. This essentially means that second paragraph element, which is the child of its parent div, here will be styled with the color. So here we have the second paragraph, which is the child of its containing div. is being styled with the color. Other elements which is headers inside of this div are not affected because specified element is paragraph. Okay, let's have a look at nth-last-of-type. Nth-last-of-type structural pseudo class selector is used to target and style specified elements according to their position in their parent element. This selector is similar to nth-of-type selector except that it starts counting from the last element upward instead of counting from the first element. Let's preview this in browser and see the effect. Okay, what this essentially means that the specified element here is paragraph, and we are counting from the bottom, and it is the third paragraph from the last. Okay, which will be styled to have color orange. So this parent div, inside of this parent div we are counting the paragraph from the last here. So first, second, third, this one will be styled orange. Similarly for this div we will have to count from the last, first, second and third, and this one will be styled. There you see it in the browser here. So the only difference is that in this case the browser counts from the bottom. Okay, let's move on to another structural pseudo class selector, and this is called first child and the last child pseudo class selector. The first child pseudo class selector will target the first nested element of a specified type or selector. So the first child, which is P of these two elements article here, will be styled with the color of sky blue, and the last child of these two articles, which is this paragraph here, will be styled to have font style of italic. That is what you can see in the browser preview here in the browser window. Okay, the next one is first of type and last of type. The first of type structural pseudo class selector is used to target the first occurrence of the specified element where it nests with its sibling. Okay, so in this case we have got two unordered lists here. This Lee colon first of type will target this Lee element and this Lee element, so it will have color blue. Lee last of type will target these last Lee elements here inside of these two ordered lists, so these will have color orange. And if you preview in browser, here is what you have, how these styles will be reflected. Okay, next one is the only child pseudo class selector, and it will target elements where they are the only child in their parent element. So in this case we have got two divs. The first div has got 4 buttons and the second div has got just one button. So in this case when we say button which is only child of its parent element, so the button only this particular div with this one button will be styled to have particular style that we give to this button. Okay, but since this div is having 4 of the same type of button, so this will not be styled. So let's have a look in our browser, and you can see the div which has got 4 buttons doesn't get the style, while the div which has got just one child has got the styling. So this is what it means to use this structural pseudo class selector, which is only child structural pseudo class selector. So button colon only child. Next one is only of type structural pseudo class selector, which will target an element if it is the only element of its type in its parent element. So in this case we have got two divs. The first div has got a paragraph tag and a span tag. The second div has got two paragraph tags. So essentially here what we are saying is P colon only of type. So this will target this paragraph tag here since it is the only child of its parent div here. Okay, so let's have a look by previewing it in browser, and you can see that only the first div, which has got just one paragraph as its child, is being targeted to have a background color. The next one is empty structural pseudo class selector, which will target an empty element that has no child elements, text, nodes or white spaces. So in this case I've got an unordered list, and in this unordered list the first list has got list item as its inner HTML, the second list is empty, and the third list tag has got a white space. So when I say lee colon empty, it means that it is going to target only this lee element which is empty. It won't target this list element since it has got inner HTML in it. It won't target this since it has got white space, and it won't target this since it also has got inner HTML. So let's have a look by previewing it in browser, and you can see the second list tag has been targeted to have a background color since it is empty. Last one is root structural pseudo class selector, which will target the root element of the document, which is the HTML element. So here I have got two paragraph. Here I have got an h2 tag and a paragraph tag inside of my root document here. So I am going to target asterisk, which means all the elements inside of root. So asterisk colon root, and I'm giving them a color of blue. So if I preview this in browser, I'll have this h2 and p to have color of blue. So that is all from the structural pseudo class selector. Please note that these are not the most widely used CSS selectors, but it is good to know them in pursuit of being a CSS ninja. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, share and comment. I hope to see you in my next tutorial.